People feel good to do good. I'll tell you why. It's because when we go back, how our genetic makeup and what's ingrained into the way that we've developed as humans. When you go back to when we were, fighting off saber-toothed tigers and living in small clans, the only way we can survive is by cooperation. So while you sleep, I watch you. While I sleep, you watch me. I can reach the berries in the tree, you can't, but I get them to feed you, and in return, you be able to make fire and I can't make fire. So what then happened was our body recognised this necessity to work in cooperation. So it would then reward that behaviour to keep us alive. So now when I get the berries in the tree, my body has this chemical reaction where I feel good about it. Oh, I feel good that I'm helping you. It makes me want to do it more because my body knows that if I help you and I do it more, it means you'll help me more, and we then survive as a cooperative. Right?
Absolutely.
So now when you say to people, hey, come out for the day and help us clear up the place. Like, picking up the, I don't know. And you see when they come along, it's like, I'll hold the bag over for you, I'm going to help you. That's good because you're working in cooperation and you start feeling connected to other people. If you think about any time you felt jealous or sad or whatever, usually it's when you're in separation from other people. When you're with other people and you're in community and you're united and you're connected, you don't necessarily have those same feelings. It's like when you want to escape anything bad that's going on in your life, how do you do it? You get in and around other people that lift you up. So it's all about creating opportunity for people to work in cooperation towards something good. And I think because that's essentially who we are and where we've come from. We've survived in this way. We're social beings.
Absolutely.
We've survived in this way for 1,000 years, and it's in our genetic makeup. It's like when you get when we get the gratification of a like on Instagram. It's a false fabrication of a mechanism that's been ingrained in our psyche to help us survive, because you may have received a compliment from someone, a good feeling, but it's not attached to any actual real action. Because when you take a real action in real life, you see the effect that has, and you see the real you really feel it. So it's about engaging people in things where they can actually feel connected to it and get involved in it. And
That's actually what we say all the time is, even if you're not, even if you can't see it now, come along to just one event, and I promise you this will make you understand it a lot better. Because when you physically touch it, even if it's plastic or waste, when you physically touch it and you walk side by side somebody else, and that energy is kind of bouncing off each other, there's something different that happens inside, and it creates this reaction. I don't know even how to explain it, but it creates something that really makes you just feel and understand much more than just seeing something.
Do you think it's connected to a lot of, we have this huge epidemic of depression and anxiety, particularly in our generation. And I feel like almost part of the reason is we're so disconnected from what we do every day and the impact of what we have does. So for example, if you're sat in a cubicle with a computer and a phone, and you spend all day punching numbers and making phone calls, you're having an output, but you're not seeing the effect of that output on anyone else or anything. So you're almost like you're beating your head against a wall with no effect, right? It's very hard to make a connection. Whereas when you do something physically beyond a screen or a phone, you can see the impact of, such as something as simple as cleaning up with other people. You make a connection to the work that you're doing, you see the impact that it has. So you almost feel worthwhile because you're seeing what you're doing. You're connecting with it, and other people are seeing it.
Absolutely. I do a lot with this actually. When I started traveling, when I first started traveling, I wanted to meet new people, I wanted to experience new things, learn different languages. And the one thing that really helped all of this was actually just going up to new people and just speaking to random people that I didn't know. And I had a few different ways of doing this, whether it was just walking into a bar and standing there and grabbing the empty beer and having a chat to people, or asking somebody where the beach is, even if I knew where the beach was. This human interaction and walking around and saying hi to people. Like, you might think these, what I'm talking about now, the smallest things that you can imagine, but as they add up and as you do more and more and more, I am always, today it was raining and I was smiling at everybody. And sure, I'm not physically touching them, but this energy, this smile, people either smiled back, some of them were like, sure, but it creates something. It's like an interaction that, like, most people are walking around today with their phones, and that's I understand, that's what we're living currently. There's a life there, right? that's what it is. Unfortunate, fortunate, there's different ways to look at it. But the one thing is that actually these small actions on a daily basis, waking up in the morning and you're surrounded by people, instead of going directly to your phone or directly to the cereal, you speak to that person. Hey, how's it going? Did you sleep well? You know, small things.
We've never been so connected, but we've never been so disconnected.
Yeah.
And what I think, look, I love social media. I think it's great, like to enable you to stay in touch with people on the other side of the world. I just spoke to my friend a few hours ago who's over in New York. Spoke to my PR agent who's over in New York. Speak to my friend who's in California. You can speak to people all over the world, and that's great, and that's fantastic, and see what's going on in their lives and be inspired by people. But not at the expense of the physical here and now.
Absolutely.
And I feel like you can spend your whole day from waking up to going to sleep in that world and not in this world. And that's why we feel so alone, because although we may be getting a feeling of connection, it's not necessarily a real human connection, because you're not something you can feel in touch.
Yeah. And so you still feel like you're missing something within.
Still feel like you're missing something. It's not a complete connection.
Yeah. I feel like the one thing we need to focus on with this is, sure, do your social media, do your lives, check your messages, do all the phone technological stuff, but then understand when it's the right time to disconnect and actually live physically. When it's the right time to say, okay, I've been doing it now for 1-2 hours, time flies, let me disconnect for a bit. Put your phone on. No one's gonna, the job isn't, you're not gonna lose your job. You're not going to, miss what's happening tomorrow. You're not going to be, lost from the world. In fact, disconnecting and just going for a little walk, or actually just going up and cleaning your room, or chatting to someone and say, hey, put your phone down, let's have a chat. What have we done this week? Tell me, what have we learned? The disconnecting but actually reconnecting with the real world. If you can find a way to create a balance, I think then you're really optimizing everything. I think you can live in your world and create the opportunities, and if you could find a way to use social media and all these networking platforms and find a way to utilize them to create real connections in life, use all them, connect with people all over the world.
It's good. The key thing you said is balance, isn't it? It's keeping it in check. So leveraging it and using it for the things that it has its benefits for. Then ultimately taking that into the real world and using it. And we're all guilty of it. Like, I catch myself at times being like, I've been scrolling for 5 minutes. I'm not even what I'm looking at crap. And I've done it in the most, they're doing beautiful places,
I know.
Last time I was in Barcelona, I think I was sat on the beach, I was literally going, what am I doing? Look around, this is so much more than anything I'm going to see on my phone.
I know. I'm lost a bit sometimes too. I'm trying to make videos for people back at home because they want to show them what I'm doing. So I'm like there, I'm taking videos, and sometimes I'm like, crap. Sure, it's nice to do this, and I want to send it around the world, but
it's nice to live it as well.
Live it as well, because actually when you go back, you can tell so much more of a rich story than what you could from that video. The videos are great, that's fine, keep them, but at the right time, really learn when to disconnect and just enjoy that moment, because stories are everything. Telling people a story about the time that you had in that moment, I feel is much more powerful than just like, hey, look what I'm doing, because you haven't created anything in that.
It's nice with this as well, on the flip side of that, for people to be able to share something that they feel they're doing that's impactful with their friends and their family. So
absolutely.
If they come to something like we're talking about with the cleanup, and then they can take a video kind of video souvenir of it if you like. Share and say, hey, look what I did, and they feel good about it.
Absolutely.
It's different to someone necessarily bragging about like a random act of kindness. Mm-hmm. Hey, just film me giving this homeless guy $5. That's different. Something like this, you can film this, like, you're doing something good, and you're actually raising awareness of a real cause, and then even if you do go into it from a place of ego where, hey, I want to be seen for doing something good, in the process you can't help but find out about it. Mm-hmm. No one can like we did the other day with the beach cleanup. I'm genuinely shocked at just how much crap came off that beach in such a short time. 60 minutes, and you've got all of that trash, but not only that, but glass and everything else. And we don't make the connection between what we're doing sometimes and the impact it can have, and it's no real consideration. And that consideration and consciousness applies to all walks of life. You run for a cab one day and you push in front of someone else and you think, I've got it. If you have a conscious consideration for other people, then in that process you recognise, hang on a minute, this person's in wants that cab as well. Mm-hmm. You start thinking differently,
Absolutely. Yeah, I completely agree. I think it's that. I think the best way to go from this, because there's so many people that kind of understand it but don't take the action to make that really important change. Because so many people realize they're disconnected from the real world and they're lost and they waste a lot of their time. But I think what people don't do is find and actually create a plan, like a daily plan, or just one new challenge for yourself.
Habits, isn't it? I think it's having
build these habits.
Having little habits, or having like things like, you know, habits or things that you purposely go out and do that are in direct combat to these traits that you don't like in yourself. You know, one thing is when I wake up, I'm not going to touch my phone for the first hour, for example, and then having the commitment to that.
And making your bed, and that's one thing you've achieved.
And start
I
small.
started doing that really. I actually just recently watched a video.
Have you read
I've seen it before, but
have you listened to Jordan Peterson?
I watched a couple on Joe Rogan.
Jordan Peterson. His book 12 Rules for Life was one thing. He says, make your bed. Make your bed.
Make your bed.
Start by making your bed. You want to go out and change the world? You can't make your bed? Fucking bed.
That's it, I think, I heard it as well. Like, make your bed, then do 10 push-ups. Then go and, wash up anything that was left last night. Achieve as many small things as you can in that first hour.
You have a routine.
And you will just be like, on such a like...
What you're also doing though with that is you're being present, right? That's why people love sport. It's why I've recently got so connected again with sport, is because
football, right?
With football in terms of the coaching perspective, then with my boxing, with running. And the reason is because for an hour I'm so immersed in what I'm doing. It's a meditation. I'm not thinking about got to pay this bill, got to pay this person's quit, am I going to replace? I'm thinking just on the task I'm doing, and that's all meditation is. It's being focused on one task in the moment and not being lost in anything else. Some people do it by sitting, letting go. Other people do it by being engaged in one activity and not thinking of anything else. But ultimately the power is the same, and it's being connected to one thing at one time, which is so difficult nowadays because we're so distracted. We're being sold to every minute. We have 3 things going on at once. You have people that are watching TV while tweeting about what's going on TV while eating at the same time.
I know.
It's overload. And then if we're not doing 3 things at once, we think we're not doing enough.
I know.
So imagine when you put the TV off, put the phone away, just eat, and focus on the process of eating. And like maybe that. Even as your food, go have a look through Twitter, see what's going on. Whatever. It's overload. We're overloading ourselves.
Absolutely. You don't even need to know the in-depth spiritual science or whatever behind what you're doing, but just being conscious about, like just eating, for example, being conscious about you're actually eating something now that comes from the world, you're processing it, feel it go down your body. Take your shoes off once in a while. I'm a big believer in taking your shoes off. If you ever traveled with me, swimming travel, take your shoes off, touch the ground, just connect with it. And who was it? Ido Portal, I always say this as well. He mentioned the more expensive the shoe, the less expensive the foot. And that's so true. Like I think we really, again, about that connection, I think everything is connection, because consciously connecting with things, whether it's the food or whether it's the washing up that you're doing, again, these small actions, connecting with these small things really make you, I don't know,
it's builds this spirit science thing, like, it's all theory anyway. But that being said, spending the time where, example thing that I used to do, where I'd be in the car and I'd listen to music. And it'd be anything, like any old radio crap, right? I was like, hang on a minute. What have I learned in this 2-hour drive to London? What have I learned? I've learned the lyrics to a new Drake song. How about I turn it off and put Joe Rogan on? Joe Rogan's a great example. It's like listening to a conversation. But the other day I listened to a guy on there, he was talking about his morning routine, and he said the way you can alter your mental state by doing nose breathing for 10 minutes in the morning. I was like, nose breathing? What's he on about? I listened, he's like, when you wake up, if you do, there's an ancient practice of nose breathing where you breathe in for 5 seconds through the nose, you hold it for 5 seconds, you breathe out through the nose for 5 seconds, you hold it for 5 seconds. Simple as that. So I'm going to try this. Next morning, my 10-minute meditation became 15-minute meditation, just doing this nose breathing. And my entire mental state just altered. Just like this calm but alert, like an alert calm, which sounds contradictory, but it was like, wow. And I started looking at breathing techniques. These little nuggets of information that you get from utilising the internet and social media for the right reasons. Then take that into the real world and then go with it.
I think breathing is one thing that Like if you count on the amount of times that you actually catch yourself not breathing or holding your breath, if you're getting ready to do something, weight training, you know, I think we really forget to breathe, and breathing is life. Like if you don't breathe, you're gonna die. You know. So how important is it to breathe? And we don't focus on or practice breathing. We just think that okay, we can do it, so yeah, it's fine.
It's unconscious.
But if you
It's
practice
not going to be conscious
breathing
all the time, but it's
No,
a good way.
of course.
I listened to something as well that was saying if you go in through your nose and out through your mouth,
Yeah.
you create this this.
circular current.
So yeah,
Yeah.
you start creating this funnel, right?
Yeah.
And it's energy.
Yeah.
So you're building the energy in your.
Yeah.
There's so much. You look into it. There's so much information
I
out
know,
there being
I
put
know.
into breathing and stuff.
I think running it all back to social media and the real life, I think if you can create that balance, but utilizing both of them to actually grow.
So look at the growth of things like social justice movements and things like veganism. Even
Yeah.
we'll talk about this as well. You look at veganism. Would veganism be as popular as today without social media? Definitely not. It was stagnant for all those years, and then from nowhere, bang! Everyone's aware of. It was starting to become aware of the suffering of animals, the state of the planet, the effect on health. Why?
Yeah.
Because I think it's the power of the ability to share and communicate.
Absolutely.
It's brought about social media. So there's some amazing things that can be achieved by it. It's just like you said, finding a balance, using it in the right way. Thinking about thinking about how to impact people,
Mm-hmm.
not about how to impress people.
Yeah, and how to give and share.
If you impact people, you feel a long-term joy in doing that. If you impress people, it's a short-lived stopgap.
Yeah, especially when you try to embrace that and that's what you want from it. I think all of the videos that I've created as well so far through just the cleaning up of the plastic, how many people have just messaged me saying how they're changing their daily routines and that they're thankful that I've showed them that there was an issue and that they, like all of these people that are actually getting touched and they feel what's going on from the videos and they're actually making changes, which immediately they say they're so much happier and appreciative of what they do in their daily
You're living a
lives.
conscious
you know?
existence where you're aware of what you're doing and how it's impacting everyone else.
Yeah.
You're connected.
Yeah.
To understand how what you do impacts someone else is to be connected.
Yeah.
To live in your own realm without understanding how everyone else is affected by you is to be an individual. And we're not individual. We're individual, yes, but we live as part of a network and as part of a community and as part of people.
Community. Community is a word. One thing to take from our list, community.
Community.
Community.